Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ferdy Daffarisalim, and I'm going to present about the presentation of my research proposal titled The Role of Social Media Marketing Activities in Building Loyalty with Self-Brand Connection, Brand Equity, and Brand Trust as Mediators at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. So, as an introduction, football in general, specifically European football, have evolved into a multi-entity merging athletic performance with global media and commercial functions. And it is reported that in 2025, 20 teams from biggest leagues in the Europes like England, Germany, Italy, France have generated a really big revenue around 11.2 billion euros in the previous period. And for the first time, match day revenues exceeded it into 2 billion, reflecting the impact of stadium modernizations, premium seating, and the monetization of venues for non-match day events. So we know that football is not only for watching and people playing, athletes playing, but it is also an organization, a company, a business that is watched by millions of people worldwide. And then coming into our research object, Tottenham Hotspur, or known as Spurs, is an English football club. It plays in the Premier League, the highest tier in English football. It is ranked in maybe in the top 20 clubs in the world. And as for the infrastructure and governance, it was established in 1882, and the club is standing in the stadium called Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a multi-use venue designed to host Premier League fixtures alongside NFL games and international concerts. And the economic performance is they are ninth globally in the Money League with approximately 650 million euros in operating revenues. And it is also one of the highest percentage growing in enterprise value among its peers over the last decade. So Tottenham Hotspur, we know that it is has a big social media presence. A lot of people know it, but it is on some point still underrated. So coming to the research background, so in football, people see trophies as a big achievement. To measure success of a football club, we see trophies. So that means winning a tournament. So last season in 2024-2025 season, Spurs has just won a big trophy called the Europa League trophy. It is their first trophy since 17 years, and that's a really long wait. So you could imagine the emotion and the thrill of the supporters. But we see here they have a big social media followings. If we see here from the top 10 football clubs in the world, they are only fourth in TikTok followers. That means they are really good in social media presence. But if we see the loyalty here, they have declined into one of the lowest in the history of the football club. And this loyalty means is when people buy a ticket for watching the games for the whole season. That means that people will pay a lot of money, and we could call that loyalty because you wouldn't spend that lot of money if you were not that loyal to something. So yes, the season ticket renewal rates it fall down from 97% in 2022 into 92% in 2025. So that is a big decline, and then also a critical disconnect. This decline occurred notwithstanding Europa League success. So again, they just won something last year, but they still have a decline. And also, we know that high digital followers does not automatically translate into sustained brand allegiance, indicating that trophies alone, in this case, are not enough to secure transactional commitment. So that leads to the research objectives and formulation. So this study wants to investigate whether social media marketing activities can serve as a stabilizing factor for loyalty when traditional drivers like on-field success or trophies or winning tournaments show a disconnected impact. So the primary goal is to analyze the influence of social media marketing activities on brand loyalty through the psychological pathways of three mediators, which is self-brand connection, brand equity, and brand trust. And also there's six research questions that this guide us. Does SMMA significantly influence self-brand connection among fans? Does social media marketing activity have a positive effect on brand equity? Does SMMA foster greater brand trust? And does self-brand connection lead to increased brand loyalty? And what is the impact of brand equity on brand loyalty? And how does brand trust act as a driver for brand loyalty? So yes, those are the objectives. Uh, in simple, we want to analyze the effect of social media marketing activities to those mediators. Okay, now next, for the theoretical framework. So this study adopts the framework of Ali Faizan from a research in 2025, and we use this to determine the relationship between the identified independent variables and the dependent variables. As for the independent, we have the social media marketing activities, which has 5 dimensions: entertainment, interaction, friendliness, customization, and word of mouth. And then for the mediators, we have self-brand connection, which means that integration of the club into the fan self-concept, and brand equity, which is the differentiated value and brand awareness in the fan's mind. And then brand trust is the confidence in the club's competence and benevolence. And as for the dependent, is the brand loyalty, which means that consistent repeat purchasing and positive recommendation. So the research methodology. So this will research will have a quantitative deductive approach classified as a causal predictive study to test specific theoretical relationship. So it's a cross-sectional survey to provide a snapshot of the fan variables at a single point in time. And to sample this, because we don't know the exact number of the population, so we use a statistical tool called G-power to get the number of the minimum sample. And we have here we got 221 respondents as the sample. So, and the criteria for those, it must be following the club social media channels, and then they have to sort of buy something or have a commitment or have a transactional experience to the club, like buying the merchandise or watching the matches for a full season, which is 9 months, and then also age 17 years or older. And the data analysis techniques, the study will use a partial least square structural equation modeling, or PLSM, a second generation multivariate technique that accounts for measurement error while modeling complex relationships. And measurement model is, or outer model is assessment for convergent validity, discriminant validity, and internal consistency. And the structural model will be path coefficient will be analyzed to test the 6 primary hypotheses from H1 to H6 regarding the direct and indirect effects of FMMA on fan loyalty. So, to conclude this research have a planned contribution. And as for the academic contributions, first, the model validation. So we want to test whether or not the model from the previous research can be fit into a sports context, and also the theoretical extension. We want to provide empirical evidence on the SMMA2 brand loyalty relationship during a period of simultaneous high sporting success and transactional erosion. And the practical contribution is to identify which dimensions of social media marketing is the most effective to build the connections for the fans. And the second one is to assist club managers to prioritize content strategies to maximize season ticket renewals and commercial returns. So that is all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.